Namaskaram everyone, welcome to the third video of Questions for Congruent series. Many years back, I think when I was in 9th class, that is the first time I masturbated. And so at that time I was into a lot of philosophies and spirituality which said this is wrong. Basically the sexuality is wrong. I should not think about another woman, and this kind of pleasures are wrong. So all these things were there. So there was this kind of cycle. So I would try to repress myself, but then at some point I can't, and I will go towards pleasure. I would masturbate, then I would feel guilty, then I would decide, okay, I'll never go for it, and again I'll suppress again. So this cycle, suppression, pleasure, guilt, again suppression, pleasure, guilt. So this kind of cycle would go on. But thankfully I was fortunate to meet some wonderful people and come across some wonderful resources which helped me gain good clarity about this whole process. But what about so many other people who are unable to get that clarity, get that proper understanding? And what would happen if this lack of proper understanding happens on a global level? We'll be looking at it in this video. The first part of the video, we'll be looking at some craziness that is happening all around the world. And then we'll be looking at some really insightful things. And at the end, there is a very interesting question for you. This is the Questions for Congruent series, right? So that comes at the end. So wait for it. And let's get into the multiverse of sexuality. Bhagavad Gita says that there are 3 gates to hell: lust, anger and greed. And Bible refers to something called original sin. So it relates sex to the original sin. So if these kind of things are on one side, let's look at some things that actually happened. In 2014, something called Kiss of Love protest happened. It was intended to be against moral policing, and there were many youth who came into public and they were kissing in public. And in 2015, the Vogue company has released a video called My Choice featuring Deepika Padukone. A part of the lyrics goes like this: my choice to marry or not to marry, to have sex before marriage, to have sex out of marriage, or to not have sex. And there was a lot of criticism against this video, especially linking the infidelity to women empowerment. I would like to give a caution about what I'm going to tell next, because it can be disturbing and can be misunderstood and interpreted in many different ways. I would like to put it this way: a scripture can be used to blossom into beautiful human beings, and it can also be used to turn into animals. And this is about the second category. And in 2015, there was a New York Times article called ISIS Enshrines a Theology of Rape. So it was an investigation about how the ISIS terrorists are treating their captives of other religions. So a 12-year girl who was captive tells how she was raped. She tells that the man who was raping actually he considered the rape as an act of prayer. So he was fully justified in his act, that it is a very religious act. And there is a video on the official Facebook account of Zakir Naik where he gives a religious framework justifying sexual slavery. I actually had tears when I was going through this video, because even when wonderful things are told, they can be converted into really nasty actions. But what if the words are itself at such a level, he's actually speaking to a very large gathering, and after he delivers the speech, people are actually clapping for him. So that there was a survey called Sexual Dissatisfaction, What It Means for Marriages in India, conducted by Medi Angels, which is the online portal of health experts. They say that 72% of women were dissatisfied with their sex life, and 23.6% of men and 17.6% of women have cheated on their spouses. So now that we have seen so many varied kinds of situations, let's now look at some really insightful things. One of the resources from where I got a very good clarity about sexuality is from the books and videos and articles of Osho. Let me read out something from Osho's book. Tantric Transformation. Tantra is transcendence. It is neither indulgence nor repression. It is walking on a tightrope. It is one of the greatest of balances. It is not as easy as it appears. It needs very delicate awareness. It is a great harmony. It is very easy for the mind to indulge. The opposite, to renounce, is also very easy. To move to the extreme is very easy for the mind. To remain in the middle, exactly in the middle, is the most difficult thing for the mind, because it is a suicide for the mind. The mind dies in the middle and the no mind arises. That's why Buddha has called his path Majjhim Nikaya, the middle path. Tantra says awareness is the key, the master key, which opens all the doors of life. And there's a really amazing book from Osho called From Sex to Superconsciousness. To give the very basic fundamental essence of this book, so what Osho says is, we should not be suppressing our sexuality, but it needs to be transformed into higher level state. So for this, the main insights that he gives is, of course, not to suppress sexuality, and another important insight is to develop love. So not love as a form of relationship with someone, not in that way, but love as a state, as an experience. And another insight is meditation. So love and meditation. So that is what Osho basically tells in this book. A really beautiful book. Many people, they see love as some sacrifice, or that they are doing something big from for other people, but I think that's nonsense. Love is for your own growth, for you to experience beautiful states within yourself. So I think love is a very selfish concept, and everyone has to make use of it and experience the beautiful things. Insight number 2, Kama Sutra. There is a really big and beautiful book by Deepak Chopra on Kama Sutra. In the book, Deepak Chopra says, the Kama Sutra can be read, first of all, as an antidote to shame. And speaking of Kama Sutra, in case you are not already aware, there is a wonderful person called Seema Anand. Sometime back, I was in a live online program where Seema Anand was invited, and she told about her work related to Kama Sutra, and she blew us away with her knowledge related to the topic. She has a lot of depth in the subject, and she has taken it as her mission to create awareness about this. And she also tells that many of her friends have disconnected with her because of all the stigma and the taboo that is attached to this subject, but she kept on going forward. So she is a TEDx speaker, author, and she has a channel, and there are many videos of her. So have a look. Insight number 3. There is a wonderful blog of Isha Foundation of Sadhguru, which is called What is Marriage and Is It Necessary? So it's a wonderful compilation of various topics. So there is a topic related to live-in relationships or casual sex and all these kinds of things versus a committed relationship, that is marriage, and Sadhguru's insights about Runanubandha. So there are many useful things in this. Some of these things I think Sadhguru told about them in the Youth and Truth events. So they are available as videos also. So do go through them. Fantastic, insightful things. Okay, now let's go to the question. Actually, this video is looking like a open book exam. In case you don't know what that is, so in my college, I studied in BITS Hyderabad. So we used to have closed book exams and open book exams. Closed book exam is like a regular exam. We go there and we have a question paper and we have an answer sheet and we write. But open book exam is we can take our textbooks and our notes and all these things to the exam. So all of them are allowed. We can go through them and write the exam. But the thing is, open book exams are the toughest. So you have everything in front of you, but the questions are so tricky. So in the same way, so we have looked into various things related to sexuality, but don't think that answering this question is that easy. So it can be, it is quite tricky. So here's the question. It's about the Madonna-whore complex. What is Madonna-whore complex? So it's something like this. I like someone, like I respect them and I love them and I want to be with them, but I'm not sexually attracted towards them. And there is another person, I'm sexually attracted towards that person, but I don't want to be with them as in a life partner. So this phenomena is referred to as Madonna-whore complex. So Madonna refers to this this wonderful and good person, and whore refers to the sexually attractive person. In the words of Sigmund Freud, where such men love, they have no desire, and where the desire, they cannot love. Actually, psychologists say that this is not some strange and rare phenomena. It is quite prevalent. So here's my question to you. So what can be done about this? By the way, it's not just something that occurs for the males. It can happen to the females also. So is it like, okay, that's how it is, so just leave it? Or should we do something about it? Should we fix it? I saw I saw a video of Ram Gopal Verma. So he was telling, it's okay, have affairs with other people's wives, just don't get caught. So is that the solution for this? Or should we suppress our emotions towards the other person? Or that's what needs to be done about this? And as usual, I'm not telling my view in this video. I wrote a blog related to it and I'm including the link below the video. So you think about this and then go read the blog. All the very best. Namaskaram.